Hello and welcome back to Men in Hoodies. I'm Brent Lyons.
And I'm Jake Stoop. Let's not waste any time. Hoodie up and let's start the show.
This show will showcase everything Arlington sports, from football, basketball, to something as boring as cross country. Men in Hoodies has it all.
Today we will be talking to members from Tiger Football and AHS Lady Soccer. Before that, let's go to Tiger Life reporter Alex Latham.
Thanks, Jake. In the fall, Friday nights are a spectacle of fantastic talent, determination, and fun. Last year, during our fight against Houston, the focus shifted from the game to a player.
All right, so it was like the second drive of the Houston game, and the quarterback was scrambling and he was getting tackled, and I was coming in to just finish the hit.
Honestly, it just looked like a regular football play. I noticed that when he got up from making a tackle, he was limping, he was kind of hunched over.
In the moment, I thought I had the wind knocked out of me because I couldn't breathe a little. I didn't think it was too major.
Carter's a pretty tough kid, so I knew something was going on at that point. He actually stayed in for one more play, and then he finally came off the field.
And I had to play the next play because it was a punt, and I just couldn't get off the field on time. And I wasn't worried at all because I thought, give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back out there.
It really didn't seem like it was that serious at the moment. But so from my perspective, this was like a regular football play until we found out exactly what was going on.
So I wasn't worried, and then Miss Lori wanted to call the ambulance and got a little worried.
Once we saw the ambulance come over to, pick him up, at that time football was not a factor at all. It's all about his safety and making sure that, he gets in the right, medical professional's hands to make sure he's good to go for whatever treatment that he would need at that time.
We believe that his knee or cleat got right under my ribs, and it lacerated my spleen and my liver and broke a vertebrae in my back.
That's a lot to take in, especially kind of not knowing what your future is going to be if you're going to play football again.
I handled it pretty well at first, and then we were in like the middle of the winter off season, and I got to a time where I got a little sad because I couldn't work out. I was kind of losing weight because I was just in a bad state of mind where I just didn't want to eat because I couldn't work out, I couldn't get better, I couldn't run, couldn't do anything.
He did have to have some type of plan, so we were in constant communication with the parents, the athletic trainers, the coaching staff. We were constantly in communication with him, let him know, this is your plan for this week and the weeks going forward, to where we had him, kind of on a program to keep him on track to be able to play this year. It
was rough just not being able to grow or get any stronger during off season and just watching everyone else.
Biggest thing was the communication aspect, to making sure that whatever we were doing wasn't putting too much stress on his injury, his spine, whatever off-season lift we had going on. We made sure we modified it if we needed to. That was one of the biggest things going into this off-season. That was going to be something that we had to monitor, is how is he going to be when he got in there to be full contact again.
A little nervous, first time like in a real game situation since the incident, but I was just really blessed because, that injury could have been way worse than it was, but I was lucky to be back out there.
He put a lot of work and a lot of effort into, getting back from that injury, and for him to kind of see the benefits of that against MUS was really touching to me. It was really good to see him because he helps us win. He's a really good football player.
I have a very close and special bond with Coach Sally. He's been with me since freshman year, just believed in me every step of the way, starting me sophomore year when I was just 150 pounds at middle linebacker. But he just would constantly text me at night asking how I was doing and just made me feel like I was special.
He's a pillar. He's one of our team captains this year. He got voted team captain. I think that says a lot about his character, not just what he is as a football player, but what he means to the other guys on the team as a friend and as a leader in general.
I just want to thank all my coaches for just always being there with me during the healing process, and then when I was able to practice again, always checking up on me and just really making me feel special and important to the team.
I've seen him mature just because, anytime you go through a injury like that, where you're just kind of unsure, you start doubting a few things. You start, questioning yourself. But I've seen him become a leader this year, and with him being his senior year, he's kind of put in the work. He's put in the time to come back from that injury, and I think kids see that, and I think they want to follow that, and I think that's something that, even as a coach, man, it's very inspiring when you have somebody that comes from an injury like that to come back and be as strong and being as fast as he is this year, and how well he's played. I think it's something we can all look up towards.
He just encouraged me the whole time, and they just knew I was going to be back and come better than ever, and they were with me every step, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex, for that report. We've got the stars of the documentary here with us in the studio today, Craig Sally and Carter Wood. Y'all happy to be here?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
It's going to be fun, but Carter, we're going to ask you the first question of the day. Something the documentary did not mention as much or did not cover was the hospital experience. So what do you remember about that? Just give me the details of it.
I just remember staying up all night and just having to transfer between like 3 different hospitals. I had to pee into a cup, and just doctors constantly coming in to check on me, asking if I was okay. And it wasn't that painful, except when they took my pillow away when I was trying to sleep. But other than that, it was just really boring and just a lot of transferring.
Moving more to the football side of things, Coach, most people know who you are, and you've been at Arlington for years now, but how did you get here? Kind of like, what's your story?
Just kind of a little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Memphis. Graduated from Bolton High School in 2010. Went on to play college football at Austin Peay State University from 2010 to 2014. And a lot of people might not know this, but our assistant principal, Mr. Joe Welch, was actually my high school head coach. So wow. Coming out of college, I reached out to him, letting him know. I went through the education program at Austin Peay. Had my teaching certification in physical education, and just asked him if anything had popped up at Arlington, just kind of let me know. And that's kind of how it happened. In the summer 2015, I was kind of getting prepared to not teach the 2015 school year, and then in June he had called me and said there was a position open, and been here since 2015 coaching football, being a PE teacher. So it's been good. So this is year 8, and it's been an exciting, good time, and we work with some really wonderful teachers here, and had some really good students come through as well.
That's awesome. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, how was your college career? What was that like?
Honestly, I say it all the time. I wish I could go back and relive that all the time. It's just a good experience. It's definitely a time in your life where you get to learn who you are as a person. You get to learn, definitely mature, and see who you are and kind of where you're going with life. Because at that time, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do professionally, and it's just one of those things where it's an exciting and stressful time, but it's one of the most fun times of your life for sure.
Well, we're definitely glad you're here with us back at your high school. But Carter, same thing for you. What's your football journey, and even past that, do you plan on playing at the next level?
I started playing football when I was 5 for the Ellendale Bears, and just since then I've just always been playing. I've loved it. Every year I've been playing, I've been starting. And when it comes to playing on the next level, right now I don't really have any intentions, but I guarantee after the season I'm going to be missing it. I'm going to have to make my highlight tape and send it out to schools. But yeah, I'll probably end up playing.
Yeah, and Coach, in the documentary you kind of mentioned how Carter exemplifies exceptional leadership. Kind of going a deeper dive into that, what do you kind of look for with leadership, and then what underclassmen show that as well?
So leadership to me is, coaches talk about it all the time, doing the little detail things correctly. And when we talk about that, talks about football specifically. We talk about our key reads. We talk about our stance. We talk about pre-snap keys, post-snap keys, and doing that at a very high level. And then when we go to practice and doing that, not just to get through practice, but doing it with an intent to get better at each little small detail. And that's in the weight room as well in the off season. And if it's 3 sets of 8, doing 8 reps of whatever movement it is. I think Carter exemplifies that. But doing that as well, but also holding the other teammates accountable, and to me that's leadership. You can't hold people accountable if you're not doing it yourself. So leadership is doing those little details correctly, because that makes the difference between a good player, a great player, and the elite. If you go out there into the small details of what the coach is trying to tell you to do, you're going to excel. And then also bringing the other teammates along and holding them accountable to that standard is what I consider leadership, football specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
and then the underclassmen, what was the question?
Just what kind of underclassmen show leadership, kind of like Carter has?
When it comes to underclass, really just in general too, what we want to get out of those underclassmen is a good work ethic, and I think that's getting up into that point of making sure they do everything correctly. Being there is a number one deal. As long as they show up, that's 90% of the battle. But then when they get there, how are they working? That strong work ethic. Are they just trying to get through the workout? Are they actually pushing themselves to get better? And are they making their teammates better around them with positive energy?
Yeah.
So, Coach, you're a defensive coordinator. Carter, you're a defensive guy yourself. Talking about the defense specifically, how have you seen that improve over the course of the season?
Even from like preseason to like even the first game, like if you like look at our defense from the first game to like our last game, like once we get our like gears running throughout the game, like we're pretty locked. Like we only held Cordova to like 30 rushing yards. Our rushing defense our run D is really good, and we're just getting better and better every week.
Speaking of Cordova, we need more students to come out to those away games, man. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. And then what the fans want to know, what do we have to do to make the playoffs? What does that look like for us right now? Chances?
Well, I think a lot of times, a lot of people think it's just football players that are out there and football coaches doing what we do to make playoffs. But to run a successful program, especially the school this size, it takes a effort from everybody, from administrators supporting the coaches, from the community supporting the coaches, from the student body supporting the players, like you just mentioned, on away games. It means a lot, and the players would never tell it or never tell anybody. But when you look up and there's a student body that's behind them and bought in, and not just there when things are going good, because we've had our ups and downs here lately, and right now we're on a 3-game win streak and things are going well. But having a student body in a community that's got your back and it's got your support regardless of what's going on, and they're bought into that, it really makes a difference. And I think that's what we need, is just buy-in from everybody, from a community, student body, administrators, teachers, just to support. Because at the end of the day, when somebody feels like you have their back, you're going to get their best. So that's what we need. Everybody's support. In every way.
Thank you to Coach Sally and Carter Wood for joining us at the desk today. Now for some more sports news, we send you to AHS Tiger Life reporter Bree Alvarado.
The Tiger football team recently took on White Station and Cordova High School in hard-fought matches, which both resulted in victorious turnouts for the Tigers. This week, we will extend our best wishes as the team will face nationally ranked Whitehaven on the home field. The Lady Tigers varsity soccer team have also been able to continue their successful season. The recent district game against Brighton came out great, with the ladies coming out on top for a final score of 8-0. This week, they will continue to play another match to determine their current season standings. We wish them and the rest of our fall athletes the best for the remainder of their seasons. That's all I have here today. Keep tuning in to Men in Hoodies to stay up to date on the latest sports updates.
Thank you, Bree, for that report. We are joined today by two members of the Lady Tigers soccer team, Caden Huey and Bella Mendieta. It's good to have you on the studio today. Not as many people are familiar with lady soccer, so I want to get to know you guys specifically. Bella, what was your soccer journey like to this point?
I started soccer in elementary school, and I played on a rec league in Arlington. Actually, my dad was my coach. And then when I got to around 6th grade, I played on my first competitive team in Arlington. And then throughout middle school, I got the opportunity to play on multiple club teams. And then when I got to high school, my overall goal was to be on varsity. And my freshman year, I played JV, and then my sophomore and junior year, I am on varsity. And definitely without all the coaches I've had, I definitely wouldn't be where I am right now.
I started playing soccer around when I was 5, and I watched my sister play as well. She really inspired me to play soccer, so I've been playing. I played rec, I also followed that into club. I played for 3 club teams, and now I'm playing high school here as well for 4 years, and now I've been on varsity for 3 years, and I'm finishing out my senior year this year.
That's awesome.
You guys have kind of talked about your journey, but what do you think is like the biggest trial or thing that you've had to overcome in your athletic career?
It's definitely having to move teams a lot. I said earlier during middle school I switched club teams a lot, and when you're on a team, they're definitely like your second family, and so you support each other, you depend on each other, and so moving from a team that you know so much about to a team you know pretty much nothing about can be really scary, and it can be difficult to figure out your place your place on your new team.
Personally, for me, my big thing that I've been able to overcome, I have junior rheumatoid arthritis. It affects how I play sometimes. Like some people, others who have it are not able to move their joints, and it affects them a lot differently than me. So I'm very lucky that it hasn't affected me as bad as some other people. I'm very lucky to be playing soccer.
Yeah, and the next question is, if you could change one thing in your time of playing, what would it be? Would that be your answer?
I would probably just say to never take a loss to heart. It always sucks to lose, but it always can tell how you can improve as a team and as a player. And just one bad game will not affect your team or define you as a player or your team.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I haven't always made the best decision for myself at the right time. There was a time where I was really hesitant on making the right move to further my soccer career. I was talking about earlier how it's hard to move teams. Well, I was nervous to move pretty much teams, and I didn't want to leave all my friends. And so it's probably, I'd go back and tell myself, it's really not as scary as you think. Just make the jump, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then what are your guys' keys to success of finishing out the season strong? You guys are, I think, 11th in the state right now, which is a really good ranking. But how do you keep that going? How do you keep the streak alive?
Since our regular season is coming to an end and we have district tournament coming up, I think now more than ever we need to be able to depend on each other and support each other a lot, because our district is a very tough district, and I think we need to come together and just create a plan and execute the plan together.
I would say just stay positive, work as a team, and just keep moving forward. Really. Yeah.
I mean, what would it take to take this team all the way to state?
I think this team in particular, I think this is the best we've ever done. I mean, this is the first time we've ever been ranked in the state, and we've done a bunch of other stuff. We tied Briarcrest. I remember last year we got beat by them alive. So I think this team, it's really more just about the support a lot, because this team is like family to me, and I think that's how everyone is on the team. And so I think if we're supporting each other, then I think we'll go really far. Especially the coaches, they've done a great job with coaching us and everything.
Now we turn to our next segment, Coach's Corner. Our reporter Luke McBride sat down with Blaine Brewer, the head coach of the basketball program. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coach's Corner. I am Luke McBride, and today I will be interviewing Arlington Tigers basketball coach Blaine Brewer. This is his second season as Arlington's head basketball coach. Coach Brewer, what are you looking forward for the most this upcoming season?
To see how we have grown from last year. We were real young last year. Now those juniors have become seniors, those sophomores have become juniors, and then the freshmen are now sophomores, to see what they bring to the table. So just to see how we've grown within the last year.
How would you say you've changed the culture so far with it just being your second year?
We put a big focus on academics, making sure we're doing everything right in the classroom, as well as just a lot of, togetherness, team togetherness, positive attitude, more discipline, and trying to do the things the right way.
Who would you say the leaders of the team are?
I would say of our seniors, probably Drew Ellis, Alex Wiley. Our juniors, probably you, VJ Simmons. Sophomore leadership group, Will Turner, Chase McIntyre. But I think as a team, everyone does a great job holding each other accountable to where we don't rely just on one person as a leader.
So you've had previous coaching roles at different schools, and here you were a freshman and JV coach. How have those roles prepared you to become a head varsity coach for Arlington?
The organization aspect. One of the things that's not really talked about as a head coach is just the organization aspect. It's not just basketball. It's getting schedules done. It's making contact with other coaches. It's reaching out to colleges, to advocate for your players. And so that, watching former people that I worked under prepared me for that.
So you are a former high school basketball player yourself. How did those experiences playing in high school, how does that help you relate to your players?
I'm 31, so I'm not the oldest guy in the gym. I'm not the youngest guy anymore. Coach Sharp's only like 23. But, I think that having played here and knowing the Arlington community and everything, that's kind of helped me just be able to relate to everybody and all the players.
Thank you so much, Coach Brewer, and good luck to you this season. You can find the rest of this interview on AHS Tiger Life's YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us on another Coach's Corner. I am Luke McBride.
Now it's time for the Tigers Top 5. Let's take a look at the top 5 highlights from recent games streamed here at AHS Tiger Life.
He's going to be stuffed in the backfield. Ethan Smith, the senior, comes out of nowhere. Buchanan design run, takes it himself, gets to the outside. Good block there by Torres as Buchanan breaks free. That's going to be a touchdown. Late hit there. That's going to be a flag. Rush 3, drop 8 for Gatewood. He lobs one up there. That's going to be picked off by who else but Dermott Green, returning it for the pick 6. Gabriel Torres now in the backfield. They hand it off to him. Why not? His speed tries to get to the outside. He breaks away. The elusiveness of Torres is going to get in the end zone. What in the world just happened? But Zoe McDonald said no! And that is the ball game as the players rush the court.
Thanks for joining us on the second episode of Men in Hoodies. That's going to do it for us in the sports world.
New episodes will be coming out every 2 weeks. Want more from the Men in Hoodies crew?
Check out the Men in Hoodies podcast for all your national sports needs on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor. Actually, go listen.
Yeah, for sure. Do that. We will see you next time.